And then Miles and Kate take off in the cloaked in the Mayflower II and take off. And then they're like, the rest of that group that was in that room, they're like, they just took our fucking ship. What do we do now?
And then the brother's like,
there's supposed to be 12 of us on there, and there's 12. There's supposed to be like 12 people on this ship, and the two fucking dickheads just took it.
I can't help thinking, somewhere in the universe, there has to be something better than man. Has to be. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ascension to 10.
Right. Here we are. We're back.
We're back.
Oh, man.
Against all odds, really.
It's all odds. I'm pretty sure there's been like 3 or 4 times in a row where it's like, oh, yeah, I think we're getting back into the groove of things. 4 weeks later.
It's been 4 weeks. It took, well, it might be longer than that because it took 4 weeks just to edit the last episode and get it published. After we specifically said we're going to start rolling these out more regularly.
I'm going to stop promising
4 weeks. And then we sit down tonight and fuck around for 30 minutes trying to get this shit working, and it still doesn't. So if you're watching this on YouTube, Ascension to 10 podcast on YouTube, and it looks like dog shit right now. We decided, you know what? We're just going to roll with the new episode. So here we are.
Gosh. Here we are. Oh my gosh. One of the most frustrating things is that technology, when technology doesn't work like that, I'm just like, oh my God. We almost
just started
didn't record
not working.
We said, fucking done. Just doesn't matter.
Spenny,
just
nothing
taking
ever
my
changes.
ball and walking home.
Nothing ever changes with this podcast. We still take a month between episodes at minimum, and we're still complaining about we can't record.
We updated the software. We've updated our cameras. We've got green screens. It still doesn't fucking work. And we're PPs. What do you think other people
We're
do?
PPs. I was supposed to turn this into a profitable business. We can't.
Exactly.
Anyways,
Holy
if you're watching
smokes.
this, if you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for sticking with us.
Yes, thank you very much.
I
think
hope
that
to
we
bring
can
a
call
good
that
one
a
here.
typical day. Typical
Yeah.
day of us trying to get set up.
Yeah. Call it a typical day for sure.
Which probably,
lot's happened, though.
won't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots has happened.
Lots happened.
That's the one thing we're excited about. There's a lot to talk about.
You want to kick us off with what's been happening in the last 6 weeks?
Yeah. I mean, so I'll start with a typical day to get us started, because we talked about we haven't had a typical day in a while.
That's right.
So I've been on the hunt for a new lawnmower. My old one was really small, and it wasn't self-propelled, and we had a tiny lawn, but now we have a big lawn, and it really sucked. So I was like, I'm doing it. We're gonna get a big lawnmower, 6 inches wider, self-propelled. It's got dual blades. Gonna be fucking sweet.
That's
Order
long.
one on Order it on Amazon. Lawnmower comes. I spent an hour trying to put the thing together. It's supposed to take like 5 minutes. Get everything in. It's electric, so it has batteries. So I put the batteries in. Go to turn it on. Nothing. And I'm like, what? And I'm trying everything. I'm pushing every button. I start looking at all the screws, and I'm like, God, this is weird. Like, half the screws are missing. And I lift this stupid lawnmower up, and it literally has no motor and no blades. I have just a half-baked lawnmower. And the whole time, it took me an hour to discover this when I should have just lifted it up, and then I would have known. But instead, I tried to put the whole thing together, rip the box open like an animal.
Where's the motor?
There's no motor. There's nothing in it. Thing's fucking light as a feather. You can literally. I took a picture of it. You can like see light through it. Because you can see out the other side.
It's just plastic.
So.
Oh my god! It took you so long to realize that. What could you have had to assemble? There's no motor or anything.
I had to put the handles on. Couldn't get the handles on. Doesn't matter. It was an absolute disaster.
So where are we at with the mower then? What's the latest?
We got a new one. And it works. Came back.
Same one?
It turns out it's supposed to have blades and motor.
Interesting.
And you know what? I put it together in 5 minutes, and I just push a button and it starts. Amazing.
Awesome. So it's the same one, or
that first one was not working. What's that?
Oh, you got the same kind or a different kind?
The exact same kind. Yep.
Okay. Just rolled the dice.
It was on sale. It was on sale. So they honored the sale price with just replacing it. So that's got it. It's a great.
Nice. Nailed it.
Takes me less time. My legs don't hurt as much, and my back. It's all great, but
that's great.
For an hour, I thought I was losing my fucking mind. Just trying to even fucking registered the thing on the website, like trying to figure out what was. Like, why I couldn't get it to work. Thinking that it was defunct. Well, it turns out it just was missing everything. So.
No motor, missing everything.
I still can't.
Batteries.
I still can't figure out if the manufacturer just literally, whoever was building it just forgot or just didn't do half of it, or if it was returned. But it didn't look. I mean, it looked brand new. So.
Well.
I don't know.
So did you return that first one then?
I did, yeah.
Did you keep the batteries from the first one?
I did not. I did debate that just because of my inconvenience. Yeah. Oh, rough, buddy. Glad you got that worked out. It was.
I'm glad your life has improved now.
My life is so much improved because of it. I mean, the battery packs come with the fast charger too, so it's, charging in 45 minutes. It doesn't take 3 hours like the other ones do, so. Pretty sweet. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. How about you, Jad? What's new in your life?
Spenny, well, as you know, but the audience might not know, I am I sew now. SEW. I can seam things.
Yeah, Jad's taken a mini course in sewing.
Yep. I took an adult's entry
with
level
some rods.
I took an adult's entry level sewing class over the course of 4 weeks.
It sounds just like you picture it.
Yep. Whatever you're picturing right now, that's probably accurate.
Jad has to bring his sewing machine with him.
That's right.
Right? It's not provided, so you have to bring it.
Nope. Brought my own machine.
You have your own little
case.
So
this has been something that I had been interested in a long time to know how to use a sewing machine. partly because sewing machines are dope, and they were always a mystery to me. But then also I just kind of wanted to know how to make things out of cloth, because that's always just been kind of a gap in my understanding.
No, I'm calling bullshit. I think this is all about you trying to find a way to sew fabric onto neodymium magnets so you can use them at the lab.
Well, stay tuned, because there is a magnet story involved. There's actually 2 magnet stories, okay?
Okay.
This provides.
Please proceed.
So I wanted to learn how to sew to make a variety of projects that had been either in my mind or I thought about and forgot or just kind of pushed aside. But one of the things I wanted to make right away was an outdoor blanket, bedroll kind of thing, or a rolling outdoor picnic blanket. Yeah. And so I had been sitting on that for a long time. Obviously didn't know how to sew, didn't have a sewing machine. So I got this sewing machine, and then Sarah just coincidentally found this sewing class for me. Got signed up. It was awesome. And showed up. Now the class is for people that do not know how to sew or use a sewing machine. But as Spenny said, you had to provide your own. So everybody brought their own. And so the first night we made scrunchies. That turned out pretty good. The second night we made a set of coasters, which gradually got better. We'll post pictures of the progress here. My first coaster was like this big. And then
your coasters reminded me of someone trying to make burgers on a grill. They just have one just super tiny. Small one.
Yeah. They either ran out of meat or they just whatever. But yeah, it was the progression. We made four coasters that night, and the progression is very obvious about which one I started with and then which one I ended the night with. And then I went home and made a 5th coaster that was the best of all of them. Mm-hmm. Then we made a tote bag, and that turned out pretty well. I even went home and did some extra credit stuff by putting in a zipper on it. And then we made this kind of cutlery roll, and then we finished the course out by making an insulated lunch bag. And so it was fun. It was chill. It was dope. I ended up making my blanket roll. So I made the bottom out of sailcloth and then the top out of wool, this kind of wool polyester blend. And God, Spenny, you just know how to push my fucking buttons about shit, because I ordered what was supposed to be kind of seafoamy gray blue wool.
Right.
And what I got was fucking mustard wool. I posted pictures of it, of what I ordered and what I received to our group chat, and Spenny was like, I don't know, it looks like a lighting issue to me. And just pushing my buttons, and that started this whole conversation, like fucking rabbit hole about just posting pictures of the stuff in different lighting and screenshots of whatever it was. And so keep in mind, I ordered this wool from a website called...
Hold on. You posted a picture of a onesie that you apparently fixed. And
I don't know what your fucking problem was with that, because that was so obviously the same thing.
That's bullshit. You took a picture of it, and they're completely different colors.
They are not different colors at all. I don't know how you can... We'll post that too. I'll try and post a screenshot of the group text, because there's no fucking way you could think those are different. And so anyways, I had this whole conversation about whether or not I got the right wool. Well, I ordered this wool from a website called fabric-fabric.com.
Fabric-fabric.com. Powered by
customer service. Yeah, the customer service email was fabric35@hotmail.com. And when I wrote to them saying, "Hey, I may have gotten the wrong thing. This is the SKU that I ordered," and then I posted a picture of what I received. And I said, I don't think they're the same, but let me know if this is what I could have expected. And you may be surprised to learn that I never heard anything back. And
have you thought about finding another provider of your fabric?
Well, moving forward, perhaps. But anyways, I decided, just fuck it. I'm going to make this goddamn blanket. And so it was an ambitious project, but I got it done. Yeah. Now, part of the ambition was to make this custom latching mechanism. And so if you can picture a picnic blanket that you then kind of fold, and then you roll up into a log.
You have a little handle, right?
And a handle. And then you have a strap that you then secure the roll so it doesn't just unroll, right? That's how rolls work and stuff. So I sewed in a really strong, a very powerful neodymium magnet into one end of the webbing. And then I sewed it to the webbing and then the sailcloth, right? And then on the other end, the stuff that will then come around and latch, I sewed a matching, very strong neodymium magnet to within the webbing, so then it would just seamlessly latch on it. And it does work, but it's not strong enough to go through 2 layers of webbing and then hold up the weight of the blanket and stuff. And so, while in theory it should have worked, and if you're not holding it, it does work. But
yeah,
the whole point of this fucking thing is that you take it with you. Right? So,
I mean, to be fair, this was prototype 1. You could develop
this was prototype
2.
Yep.
Right.
So now my magnets didn't work, right? So that's magnet story number 1. I went through all this trouble to have this cool custom, never before seen latching system, and my magnets didn't work. So,
must have been bad magnets.
But I didn't give up. And I went to Harbor Freight because they had neodymium magnets that had a pretty serious warning label on them. Now I'm going to read this warning label. Danger to prevent serious injury and death. Death written in all caps. : keep away from children. So I saw this online. I thought, holy smokes, this is the answer. So I'm just going to replace the magnets that I put in there.
Oh boy.
With these new magnets. And so I go and I find them. Luckily they were in stock, and I pick up this tube of magnets. Now I'm going to hold this up to the camera. I'm going to put my finger for scale. So I don't know if this is a good scale. Like
a little bit more than a finger.
Yeah, bigger than my knuckles.
A little bit bigger
right?
than knuckle. Yeah.
This is what it came in, right? And you can see the fucking mirror it. I don't. Who cares? Okay.
So
I got a tube of magnets, right?
Man,
that's how big the container was. I thought, holy smokes, this thing is gonna come shooting out of my hand and get stuck to the car, right? These are so strong.
Right.
Injury,
explode.
A death warning on this tube, Spenny. For these magnets.
Anything metal was just going to start flying at you in your house.
Turns out this is what was in the tube. And if I hold it up to the same scale, my knuckle.
It's like is that a pea?
It's like, this is the same size as the rank insignia on a Star Trek Next Generation lapel, right? You see that? You can't even see it.
You can't even see it.
This doesn't do shit.
That's
anything.
That's the size of a baby's onesie button. That's how
maybe smaller. Maybe smaller.
Maybe
yeah.
smaller.
The baby's onesie button is as big, if not larger, than the injury risk of death magnet that I got from Harbor Freight. So as you might imagine, these were also not strong enough for my
Did you return them?
blanket
Are you going to
roll.
return the magnets?
No. I mean...
Okay. No.
I mean, I should have known.
It's a good guess. I'm just going to keep them so my child can swallow them.
They are dangerous, not for any magnetic force, just because they're just a small object that doesn't do anything.
Exactly. It's a choking hazard for a child.
Yeah.
For a child.
So that was magnet story number 2. I got bamboozled by Harbor Freight. Now I should have known. I mean, this set of magnets was like $3 or something. So
yeah,
my expectations were a bit too high, maybe. So I ended up just restructuring the blanket roll, and I put some actual buckles on it. Now it's a fully functional blanket roll. It's dope.
Now you just need to get like a. Now you just need a bike, and then you have something you can tie the blanket on, and then build a wagon so you can pull your child. And
well, I have my scooter.
Oh God.
So
yeah, okay.
So I'll just make a little trailer
attach a wagon
for this
to your scooter.
Yeah, I'll just make a trailer.
Can you imagine a scoot?
Fucking why not?
The hitch is this far off the ground.
Yeah.
2 inches off the ground. 1 wheel. I'd love to see that. Please do that.
Okay, I'm going to workshop a prototype for a scooter trailer.
To use all the tools in your shop.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, this thing's going to be sweet.
That's awesome.
So, long story short, I'm a sewer now, and I've been sewing some stuff, and it's really fun. It's pretty chill.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Did you get to practice hand sewing, or was it all machine sewing?
I practiced one tiny little stitch of hand sewing when the occasion arose, but yeah, so that's still a skill I would not say I have at this moment.
My sewing experience was taking a mini course in 8th grade, which was basically like the last 20 minutes of the day. Like twice a week for like 6 weeks or whatever, and it was sewing for fun, and you got to pick a project that you wanted to do, and mine was sewing a pig that had Velcro in the middle, so its nose was detachable, its face was detachable, 3 body parts, its hind legs, and its tail were all like separate pieces. And I gave that to my mom for Christmas 1 year.
Hell yeah.
It was very special. And that was the end of my sewing.
That sounds pretty impressive, man.
I was pretty proud of myself. I mean, it looked pretty good. It was all hand sewn, so.
Nice. That's legit.
Around here. Yeah.
Did you ever take the candle making mini course? That was always the most popular one, right?
I don't know if I did. I did. I remember we did it in Boy Scouts at scout camp. We made candles over at Big Sioux Rec.
Yeah. I just remember.
Did you make candles?
Yeah, I was. Well, I remember my sister always wanted to try and get into it.
Oh, okay.
It was Mr. Peterson, I think, the English teacher.
Oh, okay.
Or the reading teacher. Yeah. Well, I think it's reading, right?
Okay.
I remember that when my sister was in middle school, she was always trying to get into that candle making mini course, and she could never get in, or she got into the last possible time or something.
Exclusive.
Because I think mini course was only 7th and 8th graders got to do that, right?
I think, yeah.
So she tried all 7th grade
stuff.
Yeah. She tried 7th grade, couldn't get it in, And then I think she may have gotten in 8th grade. And then, so I had this just impression in my mind that it was the hype mini course to get into. Partly because Mr. Peterson was, I think, kind of funny, right?
Yeah.
And then these candles. And then I got in it. Make these stupid candles.
Yeah, what do you expect?
I don't know. They're just, I don't know, like long and skinny, shitty candles.
Right, you were just you were just taking a wick, dipping it in hot wax, putting it in water, dipping it in hot wax, putting it in water.
Yeah.
Maybe you do different colors. Woo.
Yeah, different colors. And then, but the thing was, they were all super long and skinny, and there was no way for me to burn this candle at home. It wasn't contained, right? It didn't come in a glass container to contain the wax, and so I was just left with a stick of a candle with no candlestick to hold it. It never got burned.
You mean you don't have a candelabra at your house?
Right.
You just put it on.
Exactly. So, like, every other mini course is so pointless.
I honestly, I don't even remember what the other ones were. I was just like, I did so much fun. That's it.
I have no recollection of any other mini course. I know that there was archery, but I didn't do it.
Oh yeah.
But other than that, I don't know what we did. I don't even know what I did.
Who knows? I mean, it was middle school. They were just trying to, burn time till they got to high school. Get the kids off to high school.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So I have 2 follow-ups from the last episode.
Oh.
That I need to get cleared up.
I have one too. Go ahead.
The first thing I have to clear up is I was telling the story about driving next to this guy on the interstate and my wife trying to get his attention, right? About the keys. And so, yes, what you just did is, in fact, what she actually did, she was doing more of this. And I think in the time when we were recording, because it had been so long since we recorded to when I actually started editing the episode.
Yeah.
And Sarah happened to be there when I was at that part. And she was looking at me like, what? That's not what happened. I'm not just doing this. And I realized, oh yeah, I did kind of. No. So I need to correct the record here, because she was actually like kind of dangling a set of keys. And so sorry, darling. Okay. I did not intentionally try and.
Glad you wrote your wrong. That's very good. That's
my wrong.
Yep. Proud of you.
The other update is we actually started this new segment called Cold Cases. And I have another cold case I'd like to share with the class.
Okay.
This week, actually, I was driving to where I park for work. Now, we've talked a lot about my refusal to park on campus, right? So,
yeah, you walk a mile every day.
Yep, drive a mile so I can walk a mile. And I always park in front of this hotel because it's the closest place that has free street parking. And I pulled up to where I always park, and I see this guy come out of the hotel, and he has an armful of stuff. One of them was this super thick paperback novel book. And he's getting in his car, and he drops the book as he's getting in. And this man went ballistic. It was one of those things where it's like, he looks up, he closes his eyes, he looks up, takes a deep breath, and then I could hear him go, fuck! He screams. And we're talking, this is at 7:58 in the morning.
Right.
And he drops a book. and he's already done.
Life is done.
So he's at a hotel, so he's here on business. He's here somewhere that's presumably not home. And what the cold case is, what could have already happened that morning for him to lose his mind by dropping a book? The book did not land in a puddle. This was a nice day out, and so it just landed on the road, and no harm done. And he loses his mind, and so I just want to know what was bothering you, buddy. What's going on, man?
I mean, what probably happened is he was at the hotel. The hotel didn't have what he wanted for breakfast. His coffee was probably cold. He was probably going to talk at some place. That's why he had the book. And maybe it got canceled, so he was getting ready to leave, and then he dropped the book, and it reminded him that he had just wasted, an entire day getting ready to do a talk that got canceled.
That's a really good hypothesis.
That's a hypothesis.
Yep. That's a great... I love it. Because that could be that. It could be something completely different. It could be he drove all night to get here and has to go farther, and
maybe
stayed already shit, and maybe he
just pooped his pants, and then the book fell, and he's like, God damn it, now I have to bend over and pick this fucking thing up, and then poop's gonna come out of my ass. Could be that.
Shit. Yeah. I've never just been I've never heard anyone scream fuck like that before.
Like if anybody was outside, they'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. It was, do I need to intervene here? He was alone, I should say. He was alone. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, hopefully the guy had some kind of emotional resolution
release
after all that. But
let's hope so.
Yep.
Good on him, I guess.
If you keep your eyes out for any cold cases like that.
Okay. Let's do that. That was great, Chad. Thank you for listening to.
Oh, come on. That's not as bad as a Magnet story, right?
No, it was good. More interesting than anything, but whatever. Life moves on.
Life moves on. Yeah, we're already done with this.
Oh shoot. I have one thing that I would have told you about it had I had video or photo evidence, but I was in California for a conference, and we happened to, after it was over, stayed in California and drove down the coast, and I went to Half Moon Bay. Drove through, I should clarify, did not stay. But you know what I saw there, Jad? I saw the red bus from Birdemic and the pub that all the people die in the bus.
No.
Bus is still there. It's an English pub. And I was trying to get a picture of it, but I couldn't get my phone out fast enough, and then I couldn't find a place to turn around. So,
jeez, man, I know that's like seeing Hollywood gold.
It was. You know what was weird is there's no sign saying Birdemic was filmed here.
Site of Birdemic 1 filming location where Ramsey dies. Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah, it was.
That's amazing.
It was cool. It was
and
funny.
Do you know for sure that's? Do you know for sure that that's?
I mean, there's no other way. Just the background of this pub with the bus in front. This bus has not moved, so obviously that's where they filmed it. So
nice, because the bus was just in the movie, anyways. It was just kind of casually in a parking lot, right? Just kind of
So that's why I was thinking it wasn't like. It was something that they like put there, but I drove by it and I was like, that is it. That's it. So it's right off the highway. just like everything else on that show.
Nice. Easy filming locations, right?
Yes. Easy to get in and out of.
Well, that's amazing.
All right.
I don't even know where your life goes from here.
I don't either. Yeah. Wow. That's it. Do you want to talk about this movie now?
I suppose we should, although we have potential. I mean, depending on how long it takes this episode to get out and how long it takes us to record the next one, you have something big coming up, right? You have your...
I have a half... Yeah, well, I have a half marathon in a week and a half, which, depending on when
this
gets released, should be nice. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I've got a half marathon I'm going to be running in a week and a half.
How are you feeling about that? Are you ready?
Well, everything has been going fine, except I got shin splints, so I couldn't run for a couple weeks, which, if anyone thinks of shin splints, they probably think of when they were kids and they had shin splints. But as an adult, they fucking suck. And they hurt really bad. But it's fine. Whatever. Made it through. Did some running this week. But today, when I was training, I went turbo boner. And I died. And I was so far away from home, I had to have my wife come pick me up because I couldn't make it back. So she wasn't, I don't know, she was too pleased about that, but luckily she was able to come get me. I was like 3 miles, maybe 4 miles from home, and I was like, I had no water. It was hot. I was dying, essentially. And I was like, oh shit, like, can you come pick me up?
That's awesome.
So this guy just strolling down the bike path with no shirt on, just hobbling, waiting for his ride.
He's struggling. So is it near the road, or did you have to navigate back to a road from the the bike path makes a loop by a golf course, so that's where I got picked up at. But nice.
It was yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're still with us. Sounds like you're.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like you've recovered.
I have. Yeah. I'm here today.
Nice.
I mean, I have recovered. It was 6. Well, gosh, how long ago was it? 10 hours ago. So.
Well.
I'm fine. But
great.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean,
hopefully we'll have an update. Are you going to run
between now and then?
Yeah. It was just more of a I just died, and then I didn't have any water, so I was very thirsty, and
that'll happen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's gonna happen to everyone.
That's life, man. Yeah.
Yep. So. Well, we're rooting for you.
Thanks. I'll make sure to let you know how it goes.
Yeah. Definitely going to need some updates on time, and post your number, and
if I survive,
who knows, maybe Spenny will post updates on the Ascension to 10 social medias. Yeah, live updates. Yeah.
Mile 10.
Checking in. That would actually be pretty dope. You should consider that.
Okay.
For the good of the show.
I'll think about it. Okay. I need to get a shirt or something.
Yeah. Well,
right,
we have the means of making improved merch now. And not that we have merch, but we can sell things that I can sew
now. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you could make
to us.
You could put patches.
Yeah.
Make patches for people's shirts or backpacks.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
I mean, I couldn't make the patch, but I could put the patch on whatever they wanted.
You send Jad the patch, and he will sew it on for you.
When did I say that?
What? You just did.
I did.
You said you couldn't make the patch, but you would sew it on for him.
Yeah, I can't make the patch, but we'll have to get the patch or something. But then,
man,
I can make 8 to 10. I can make 8 to 10 lunch boxes. Actually, oh, that's a That's a great idea. We'll get some.
Golly.
You source the printed. I mean, you're the T-shirt guy, right? You
I
can
fucking
get
love
us
T-shirts.
the custom inked fabric. Get us a bunch of T-shirts, and then I'll cut them up.
Yeah. Just
so
so you know,
I can make lunchboxes.
You know,
out of them.
if you let them put custom ink on the back of the shirt, you save money. So if anybody's looking to get some custom T-shirts at Custom Ink, if you put their logo on the back, it saves you a couple bucks.
And nothing in the front.
Well, you're designing the front, and then
okay. Wait a minute. Yours. Do you mean their logo? If you put their logo on the back?
Okay. On the back, their logo, Custom Ink. Yours is in the front, and then they put theirs on the back.
Okay.
Which is how we made T-shirts like that. That's the Fuckapalooza T-shirts that we made, and I think we talked about that at one point.
Right. So. Well, I think we got a great business idea here. Let's order custom T-shirts that I will then cut up for fabric and make lunchboxes.
Oh yeah, lunchboxes.
Patches. Yeah. All right. We got it.
Send Jad your ripped jeans, and he will put a patch in them. So.
Yes. And then I'll mail them back to you.
Yeah.
You can find all this on our shop, 8to10.shop.
That we're set up just for this. It's going to be one-offs only.
Got it. Yeah. First come, first serve.
Gotta drum the buzz up.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about this movie.
You want to talk about this? Okay. So I found I randomly found a movie called Mayflower II from 2020. I'm pretty sure it's a Christian show. No, I'm sure it is. Definitely is. The budget was $35,000. No fun facts on this one. I couldn't find a fucking thing about it. So it's just a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I feel like this was behind closed doors, the production notes for this movie. Well, do you have a synopsis?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
Here we go. Miles O'Rourke just wants to be an electric engineer in peace, but when his God-fearing conspiracy theory brother unveils a spaceship built by a neighbor hidden in a backyard, things take a wild turn. Soon, Miles and his wife Kate find themselves zooming off to Mars in Mayflower II, a clunky spacecraft that somehow is impossible to crash due to the advanced computer system on board. Escaping persecution on Earth, they expect a utopian Martian paradise, but instead they stumble into a Christian version of the Chronicles of Riddick prison and need to escape before the garage doors close. Soon they realize Earth isn't so bad and come back to save Miles' brother, whom he stole the ship from. They use cloaks to move from a school basement to the ship miles away, only to learn that Judas is living among the persecuted Christians in the school basement. In the end, no one wins, and this movie sucks. So.
Yeah. That's a very great synopsis. That hits all the points.
Did it.
If you have any questions about what the movie might be about in addition to that, there's nothing in addition to that. That's it.
The movie starts with two guys riding bikes in the forest.
Yes.
Quoting scripture back to each other.
Bicycles.
Quoting scripture back to bicycles. And one just happens to have cloaks.
Yep. Just bed sheets. Now, okay. How is it possible that a movie shot even on an iPhone in 2020 can have audio that's so terrible, but yet whatever editing kid that they found to make this thing did amazing work with those cloaks, right?
Yeah,
they really
that is one
really
of the
worked.
big notes.
Yes,
covered a fucking spaceship that was made out of computer generated, like this.
Yeah, well, and the people
awesome.
too, right? The cloaks on the people were just straight up deletions. Gone. And it's not like, I mean, sure, they probably had some kind of colored cloth, but must have been, I mean, they were outside, right? With natural light and with forest and stuff. So I don't know what color they would have used, but it was perfect.
Yeah, usually in movies when they do cloaks, right? It's like you see a silhouette or something so you can kind of tell that they're there. But in this one, it was like, boom, gone.
And they were moving around too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Keep in mind, this was a movie on YouTube for free, no ads.
Yep.
And I don't know if the Christian movie network or whatever has a channel somewhere that this thing was run, but it's really seemed like this was a movie made for YouTube.
Yeah.
This was a movie made by a YouTube channel to go only on YouTube. And the visuals were insane. But the audio, total shit.
Shit.
You could not hear anything.
Part of me makes me think that, well, sometimes there was, I feel like, some weird cuts. So I'm wondering if this was on TV at some point.
Oh, interesting.
It was in Canada.
Okay.
So
it's for commercials, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. So it's from Canada, so that is my only thought. But I don't have any details on it, so...
Okay. Yeah.
Can't find anything.
Anyways. These people, the scripture and stuff that they were talking about in the first opening scene, they were talking about how
this was filmed in 2014, but didn't get released until 2020.
Oh,
so that would
interesting
but still visual effects.
Interesting. Well, even better then for the time.
Yeah.
Yep. They were talking about how the government's cracking down on these Christians that don't have the right Bible, right? And how they label them as terrorists, but they specifically say that if you're a terrorist, if you have a garden, right? Yeah. It's having a Bible, the wrong Bible, and having a garden. And then these two bozos just roll up on their bicycle and take out these cloaks and then find this spaceship. And then they go fucking fly it that the neighbor made.
Yeah.
And how would they have any expectation of flying a spaceship when they showed up on a bicycle, right? And they don't do space, right? They don't.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. But they also, to be fair, in this movie, they had the space elevators or whatever. So they had So
that's forward thinking. Yep.
It's advanced technology.
That's some popular mechanics, right?
Yeah.
So they leave. The government comes and steals a lot of them or prosecutes a lot of them for having, again, the wrong Bible, and then this brother bails on his other brother.
Yeah, Rich.
He just fucking bails, right? He grabs his wife and they leave. They go to the secret spaceship and take off. And they're running from the law, and they get in this ship and they're going to Mars, and there's we have all this time. What are we going to do during this trip? And
2 weeks.
Miles says, we're going to think. We're going to think about how to get out of this. And then, I'm not kidding, 10 seconds later, they're talking about how they have nothing to do.
Yeah, no, it was literally like, we're going to think. And they didn't even cut the scene or anything, and it was just like,
we have nothing to do.
Oh, what do we do now?
They get to Mars, and they're just welcomed to Mars, right? No, hey, come on in. Keep in mind, this is biodome bubbles, right?
Well, the thing that kicks us all off, the thing that kicks it all off too is like Miles is going to visit his brother, right? And he comes in and they're having the the Bible study.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden these police come in and they're like, where are your Bibles? Do you generate your own power? Do you have uncensored Bibles? You're a terrorist now. And then they all get arrested. And then they run off. But then aren't those cops were like, oh, we're just testing you to make sure, you guys were serious about being like, not letting go of your Bible. We're on your side. And then Miles and Kate take off in the cloaked machine, in the Mayflower II, and take off. And then they're like, the rest of that group that was in that room, they're like, they just took our fucking ship. What do we do now?
And then the brother's like,
there's supposed to be 12 of us on there, and there's 12. There's supposed to be like 12 people on the ship, and the two fucking dickheads just took it.
So, what makes even less sense is that the neighbor. Do you remember his name? It was some weird name, right?
Solomon Foster.
Solomon Beaster.
Yeah. Foster. Solomon Foster.
Solomon Foster. I'm sure there's some biblical reference. Who cares?
Sure,
but okay, so Solomon Foster just tinker toys his own cloaked spaceship in his backyard, right?
He's like he's just brother. Like a rancher. Yeah, he's like dressed like a rancher. And so this was
But okay. Unless I missed something obvious, Solomon Foster builds a spaceship for him and a bunch of other terrorists to flee Earth in the prosecution so that they can explore their faith in peace, right?
Yes.
And of this congregation of people are having weekly Bible studies to, explore what they think is powerful to them, right? Meaningful to them. And they have to do it in secret. And Miles's brother, whatever his name is trying to get Miles in on this.
Rich. Yeah.
Trying to, preach and do what Christians should be doing through Christianity of whatever they call that, where, I don't know, spreading the word, right?
Spreading the gospel.
And yes. And so, okay, Solomon Foster wasn't at these meetings. And then Miles steals the ship because he's like, nah. Gets to Mars. We're skipping ahead a little bit. Turns out Mars is also a prison or something. And then Solomon Foster is there.
Foster's
what?
There. It's like Mars is like the max security prison, and they use like electric fences to keep people in.
But also Mars is also paradise. Utopia.
Yes.
And then they just kind of also send the Christians there. But so
it doesn't.
Solomon Foster built a spaceship and then ended up in space through some other means. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean, they colonized Mars, so there's obviously somehow else to get there. But it doesn't make the timeline is so confusing because there's like a day before all this happens, or like what seems like a day before, is Solomon is standing up saying, "You can't take my land," because the government basically is seizing land. And then all of a sudden he's at Mars, and
he's just at Mars. And so Miles and his wife get to Mars, and they welcome them with open arms, and they say, "Welcome. We all have to pitch in and do our work here, but if you want to do what you want to do, and we can make that happen." He goes, "Well, I was a Navy guy." And
he says,
the wife said, "I was a journalist."
Yeah, and the Mars guy goes,
what the fuck happens at Mars?
I've read some of your work.
What the fuck is happening in this biodome at Mars that they need a newsletter, right?
No fucking idea. And the guy that greets him is like, "Hey, how you guys doing? You know what? I have some business to attend. Smithers over here is going to help you."
Smithers.
What the fucking name is Smithers?
And so within 4 minutes of Miles, so as soon as they get off the spaceship, they're going to do their job, right?
They're like,
they're getting
I can't wait to go.
onboarded.
I get to be an engineer again, and I get to write words on
I
a
get to
paper.
write stories. An engineer, but he calls himself an AV guy, right? I mean, okay, so this other guy comes, fucking Smithers. Says, we have a problem with our TVs. And so...
Yeah, some of them are blocked.
No, we have a problem with our cameras. And
Right.
we need you to fix the cameras. His instructions were to turn off the cameras. And then that's the end of the scene because he's like, Smithers says, it turns out Mars is a prison. And he turns on the cameras then again and turns on this computer monitor. And it's fucking Solomon Foster standing in normal clothes. And it's just like tiny wall. He's standing in a three-sided box.
Right.
Like there's empty space in front of him, and then it's just three walls, like kind of boxing him in. And at this point, all you see is just him standing with two walls on either side of him and kind of moving in and out of frame. And there's nothing within that depiction to suggest that there's an electric fence, an electric field keeping him in there. He's just standing with two walls really close to him. And okay, so then Miles says, that's Solomon Foster. And Smithers says, well, how do you know him? He goes, well, he's my neighbor. And he goes, this is a prison. And Miles is like, shoot. Smithers says, meet me in the prison. We're going to get out of here. Miles says, how? Like, you came in on a ship. You have a ship. We're going to leave with your ship. And so, okay. Now, I had to watch this twice because I was like, what the fuck is happening? Miles goes back to their apartment with his wife. And they say, we got to get out of here. And she's like, well, I just been writing my story, you know. He goes, Smithers said it's a prison. And so they meet at the prison. Smithers then betrays them.
Gotcha.
And these children guards come out, right? And with little photon guns. And so then they end up in prison. And then Miles is losing it. Right, he's losing his mind, and Solomon Foster's like, "You just got to pray about it, buddy. You know, I don't know what else to tell you." Yeah. And so then Smithers comes back and bails him out.
Smithers playing both sides.
What was the point of that?
Hard.
What was the point of him putting him in prison?
I don't know.
He's like triple agent at this point, and he's saying like no takesies backsies, but oops. I didn't mean it. And so then they leave, right? They leave. And this whole time it's being filmed in what's clearly a hotel or some, I'm guessing a mega church.
Like a corporate.
Yeah, it's like a corporate
I don't know. Something.
Thing. Yeah.
Made in the 90s.
And they have all these just members of the church. It's very clearly just church members that are these actors. A lot of them are kids when they get to Mars. And so they take Smithers back to Earth because then they have to pick up his brother and the other clan.
Wasn't there another guy too, Smithers, and then some other guy that's like flying the ship because as they leave Mars, there is a iPod Touch video game version of Space.
Oh yeah,
chase.
Totally. Yeah, totally.
through the canyons of Mars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One line's is like, this isn't good for the hull as they're getting chased and getting shot at.
Yeah. For as good as we talked about how good the green screening was or the cloaking stuff, this was less than, this was like PS1 graphics. And at one point, I think during when they were in prison, Solomon asks Miles, "Why did you come to Mars?" And Miles literally said, "It seemed like a good idea." He didn't know anything about it. It's just he rode a bicycle the day before, and then he's hijacking this cloaked spaceship to Mars because it seemed like a good idea.
The other part of yes.
Well, they get back to Earth, and then they have to break out the underground Christians, right?
This is one of the things. Is like this was like a fourth of the runtime. Is them just breaking them out because they cloak to a school because they have some sort of beacon that they can find.
Yeah,
to know where they're at, and then they have to cloak people in waves. And it's like, it seems like it's like 4 miles away because it takes so long. Yep. And they just walk to the ship, and then they come back, cloak some more people, go back to the ship. Turns out one of the kids is Judas and has been working for the other side, and it turns into this big thing. And then now they're being chased in the woods.
So weren't there 2 Judases? Okay. There was one of the terrorist Christians, his son ratted them out, right? Because he was like, "Come on, Dad, let's just go back to our farm or whatever, and we'll just read their stupid books." And he's, he ratted them out, and then now they're all going to get caught. But turns out they had a big ass blanket cloak, and they were all hiding under.
Yeah.
And so, and then the dad was just like, the dad was just going to let him get taken, right? And okay, but this whole time, there were these scenes of them in the underground at the school, and there was this guard-looking guy, and one of the kids was super hungry. He comes up to his dad and he says, "Please, sir, can I have some more?" Right? And this guard gives this kid a piece of chocolate because there was no other food.
Right.
But then it changes to the overlords of this place. He's always seen in a hologram or something. The guy that's trying to catch these Christians.
Those 2 guys, I think they use the same guys, or they're dual agents as well, because they're the ones that got him to the safe house in the basement. But then they're also the 2 that are the ones that protect that hologram guy.
And then the hologram guy is trying to find them, and they know where they are, right? So if they are a double agent on, let's say, the bad guy's side, the hologram guy's overlord side, they infiltrated the network of these Christians to flesh them out.
Yep.
So they have these 2 spies, basically. So let's just assume they're actual spies. Yep. So, okay, they know where they are. So what's the problem? Go get them.
See, this is the part where I think they are playing 2 different people, or they are on the side of the Christians, because the reason they find them is because the ship is laying off a beacon or something.
Oh, okay.
That they uncover.
The Mayflower?
Yeah, the Mayflower is giving off some sort of signal, and that's how they... I mean, it doesn't matter. Like after this, it's like the people are trying to run to the ship. Miles and Rich are in the forest trying to do a diversion to keep the people away while the rest of them run to the ship. And then it's fucking pitch black, and people are shooting this film on their iPhones, and you can't see dick, and it's so fucking grainy.
Fucking thing.
You can't see a fucking thing. It's so grainy. It's like cranked up the ISO so they could like at least see it, and it's just like, what are we doing here? It's just like people running around shooting guns, and all of a sudden the fucking ladder rope thing comes down.
They say drop the ladder, and it's a fucking rope. It's not even a rope ladder. It's just a rope. They say drop the ladder.
It basically ends with them. It basically ends with them in space, and they're like, you know what?
Okay,
Mars sucks. Earth sucks.
What are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
Know. They say we don't know.
It was the worst ending.
Keep in mind, they call the ship the Mayflower II, right? I mean, which brings pilgrims or whatever, I don't know, to the New World. But the Mayflower had a destination, right?
Right.
They're
Right.
going to the New World. They leave this movie with fucking nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go. They're just floating in space.
Interstellar spaceship. It's and they never once mention any other planets that are even remotely habitable. They don't mention any other planets.
No, but in the beginning credits, it's obvious. What in the beginning credits, it's obvious the moon has been colonized. Like there's a flyby and there's fucking lights and stuff all over the moon. But they don't reference that at all in the movie, so whatever.
This is so stupid.
So fucking stupid. Luckily, it was short.
It was short. It was free on YouTube, which meant that I could blast through it at 1.5 speed. I think that's why I missed a lot, because I was, I tried. I gave the first 5 or 10 minutes, and then I just said, nope. I can't hear anything what they're saying. This is so stupid.
Yeah, it was. This is probably worse than White Space.
This is definitely worse than White Space. Yep. Yeah, this is beyond White Space, literally. Yeah, this is a clear Ascension. We're at that stage. This is the Ascension podcast. You know the drill by now. Ascension is the worst thing we've ever seen. Now, this is probably the 20th, 30th Ascension that we've given, but this one is a real stinker.
This was
Beyond White Space was probably legitimately one of the worst things we've ever seen. And this was somehow worse. Now, this wasn't produced by a studio. We think this was a ragtag group of Christians trying to spread some kind of message, which I don't even understand.
I don't even know what the message was.
Christianity is. How could anyone possibly say that Christians are being prosecuted when Christians rule the world, right? There's no debating that. The Christians won. And
I think they were trying to make their own version. I feel like they were trying to make their own version of those Left Behind, something to
maybe.
I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't figure out what the point of this movie was. I mean, Miles is a total dick, and he stole the fucking spaceship that it was for his brother and his Christian friends. So maybe the point is that Christians are better. Maybe that's what it ends up with. But in the end, they have nowhere to go.
All's forgiven, I guess, if you pray about it.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know, but
so
we do not recommend.
Don't watch it. Do you? No. The real question is, do you have another movie that we are gonna watch?
Yes. Hold on. Well, okay. Let me see first of all. A little bit of dead air.
So is this a movie that you found, or is it
No.
No. Okay.
Oh shit!
Cool.
Really?
Cool. While Jad's looking for that, if anyone has not, you got it. Okay,
I got it. I am 99% sure this is available for us to see, but we are going to watch Madam Web.
Shit!
Because we've heard that this might be a Morbius level movie, so that's what we're going with.
All right, Madam Web.
It's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. Yeah, that's what I saw.
Ooh. Okay. Can't wait.
Might be decent. I don't know. It's
got Sydney Sweeney in it, so Dakota Johnson.
We seem to be the only people that liked Black Adam, and everyone else was dogging on it. So
that's true. I mean, we really put ourselves out there on that one.
Yep, we put ourselves on the chopping block. So we might think this is good as well. Which
11% on tomato. So
11.
So,
well, you can hear about it by staying tuned to the Ascension 10 podcast.
Yes.
Where can you find us?
And hopefully, you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Ascension210, and find us on our website, ascension10.com. You can also email us at boys@ascension10.com if you have any recommendations, typical days, or anything else. If you have a cold case stories that you can provide for us,
we really want to hear about those.
Yep. So,
and then the YouTube channel, if you're not watching us, please consider it.
And that's the Ascension to 10 podcast, right?
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Links, as always, in the description.
Descript. Well, I think that's gonna put a bow on this one.
Mm-hmm. Sorry it's been so long.
Spenny. Yep. Might be long again. No guarantees, but we're gonna come back. We're always coming back.
We will come back for sure.
All right. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Ascension to 10.